You're very welcome back. 6797F104. If things are so bad that vigilantes have to do the Gardaí's job, then the Gardaí have failed to protect the people. When I was a child, the Gardaí wouldn't go after drug dealers in the area, so vigilantes had to deal with them, says Anthony in 53104. Well, yeah, I suppose famously, I think it was Tala, I think it was kind of residents against drugs or residents against drug dealers or something like that, and maybe in the inner city as well. That did actually work a treat when you think about it. I think it was covered in some of the films about Martin Cattle. But does it work now? Because this is on the back of news today that apparently there's some vigilante group going around calling themselves the Hells Angels, obviously after the famous motorcycle group in America, and they seem to be tackling the problem of this teen gang, which we don't know the numbers of these teen gangs, but I suppose they're probably quite considerable considering they appear to be doing a lot of damage. And this teen gang of African origin seem to be running amok in the Blanchardstown area and surrounding areas, and Gardaí just don't have the resources for it, and when they do arrest someone, they're saying it causes a mini riot, so it's not worth going in and arresting just one individual because the rest all kick off. Well, Hells Angels, they're calling themselves that, seem to think that they can do a better job. Tonight we're asking, do you agree with their methods? Do you agree with what they're doing? Or are they just adding to crime on the streets? Again, you do have grown men going up to teenagers and beating the crap out of them, I suppose. I mean, what else are you doing? They're hardly sitting them down and having a nice stern talk with them. I suppose they are using violence. 53104 for 20 cent is the number. And as I said, if you were in the Blanchardstown area or Dublin West or Dublin North, because apparently it's spilling over there as well, let us know how bad it really is. Is it that bad as it's been made out? And how many people do you reckon are actually in this gang? Natalie's on the line. Natalie, you're live in F104, are you? Hello, Natalie.
Yeah.
Hiya, Natalie. Just turn off the radio there in the background. It's going to confuse you. Your cousin...
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Your cousin...
Yeah.
Yeah, take your time, Natalie. Your cousin is in this vigilante gang, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did he do then?
He thinks, you know what? He thinks he's like one of the police. He does. I kind of get what he was going from at the start, and then I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So,
you know what I mean? I was like, he's getting himself more trouble. Everyone's coming after him, so it's just had to turn around on him.
Natalie, are things really that bad in Blanchardstown and the likes? Are things that bad in Blanchardstown that he has to do this?
Hold on, wait, there's a slow down the radio. Hold on.
I think we'll come back to Natalie in a second. 53104 for 20 cents. Sorry about that. Joe, how are things, Joe?
How you doing, Keith?
You're live in F104. What do you want to say, Joe?
I want to say I agree to the guys that are trying to stop them. At the end of the day, you've got old people that's probably going around and are afraid of these youngsters that's going around causing trouble.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the guards aren't going to do the job, you know, somebody has to take it on board. Like, I mean, they're doing it and they're getting away with it, and the guards aren't doing anything about it. So what does this mean? That these guys that's causing the trouble are getting free rein of actually causing this trouble? And somebody has to stop it at some stage, because somebody's going to end up getting hurt by them.
I suppose it's a catch-22 in some ways, because like some people on our Facebook page are saying, look, they are only teenagers, and you've got fully grown adults effectively threatening them or using violence against them. But then again, these teenagers are also causing a lot of problems in the area, apparently.
But am I right in saying that these teenagers that's going around are supposed to be from foreign national?
I don't know if they're supposed to be foreign nationals, but they certainly are of African descent. So I would imagine they are. A lot of people are like, deport them. I would imagine they're Irish citizens, but maybe their mums and dads are not.
Well, the thing about it is that I've seen this incident before, and I've seen it. It's actually around the corner from my area. And at one stage there was a heap load of guard actually on the road, and I didn't actually cop on it as to what it was at the time, but I seen about 15 or 20 African teenagers actually standing at the corner, and we didn't understand what it was, and I only went around the corner to put my mate's car in the garden because I knew that there was a bit of trouble. Then I realised exactly what was actually going on.
What were they doing? Like, I mean, it wouldn't be that unusual to see teenagers just hanging around a corner. It's not
they were actually causing trouble, and to be honest with you, they were actually slagging the guards, and they were actually antagonising the guards when we actually had witnessed it. So, now the guards had actually warned them off a couple of times, and they ended up going off chasing a couple of other young fellas to try and start the trouble up again. And of course, it ended up that it was going to backfire because the influence ended up going off and coming back with more of them.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what guards are saying. That's what the risk is, that when a guard arrests one of these teenagers, that apparently mini riot ensues, because obviously they're not happy with one of their mates being arrested. Like, is it?
Well, it wasn't. Well, it was actually not that. It wasn't the African lads that went off and got more people. It was actually the Irish ended up getting more young fellas to deal with this. Yeah. You know, because they were actually starting the trouble around in the area. Now, I've never seen them around before, and all of a sudden they were just around one of the nights. And
this sounds like you're describing downtown LA or something. It sounds
well. I mean, if these for starters, you know that their parents are letting these guys out.
Yeah.
You know, the parents aren't letting them. They aren't chastising them and letting them out doing this. Now, I mean, if they're going to go around and start bullying and intimidating old people and things like that, you know, who's going to be around for the old people? You're going to have the guards running and saying, "Oh, well, we haven't got the manpower. We can't be doing this. We can't be doing that." You know, the old people are getting harassed. Yeah. Who else is going to take it on board? I mean, the people that's going around, it could be somebody's mother, it could be somebody's father that's real old. And they're going to put a stop to it at some stage. Now, somebody is going to get hurt, but you have guys coming from a different culture coming into this, the way I'd say it is, this country, and starting trouble. Sure, if they were back over in their home thing, sure, if you were to do anything like this, you'd nearly be shot over it.
Well, they would say, again, look, I don't know the ins and outs of their nationality and the likes. I'm just reading between the lines. It sounds to me like these are Irish citizens. They've probably been born and raised in Ireland. Maybe their family isn't. But they'll say, you know, for everyone that's saying go back to their own country, they'll say this is our country. Well,
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, the parents would know what had happened if they were back from their hometown, which means the parents should be teaching these kids. Yeah. That's the way I'm looking at it. The parents would know if you'd done that in their own country, as they would say, you'd end up getting shot. But I mean, at the end of the day, you've got teenagers going around. If that was my young fellow, I'd end up in a basically. If the guys came back to the door and says that your teenager is actually harassing another family or starting trouble around or causing.
Yeah, you just wouldn't. I mean, you're right. You just wouldn't allow it. Like, would you? I mean, like, these are just teenagers. Like, sure. Like, who was asking, "Where the hell are you?" to whatever time? You know, who was asking the questions here that everyone else's parents asked growing up? Like, my mum and dad would be like, as you get older, maybe when I was 16, 17, right, Keith, I want you in by 10 o'clock. And if it wasn't 10 o'clock, you got a phone call going, "Where the hell are you? I thought we agreed on 10 o'clock." You know what I mean?
I'm going to give you a prime example, right, of this. With a parent that didn't give a rat's and they were foreign national. And I'm going to actually say it as it is. It was a Romanian family down at the end of my road, which the old fella had robbed the radio out of my mate's car. He had seen them, but his sister had stopped them from actually going after him. So we had actually went down and actually chased him outside the estate. Now, the guards did come down and the old fella was driving out of the road in the car that he was in. Yeah. Now, we ended up finding out that young fella was 15 years of age. God. Okay? Yeah. And the parent was actually giving the guard a grief and all, and started turning around saying to the guard, "Oh, you're smoking the marijuana and this, that, and the other." The car got taken off him. The young fella ended up getting arrested. 2 days later, we actually seen that young fella in that exact same car again. Now, you can tell me how they got the car back and the young fella back behind the wheel. And when we found out the young fella was only 15 years of age. And this is supposed to be the thing that the parents are supposed to set an example.
Well, I mean, the thing is, guards are going to come out, because they kind of have to. Guards are going to come out and say they don't want citizens taking the law into their own hands, which I understand, and that's what guards are supposed to say. But I suppose what you could say to the guards is, well, what else are we supposed to do? If they're blatantly saying we don't have the resources to deal with this teenage gang in Blanchardstown, what else do you expect people to do? Just sit back and just have their area destroyed? You know what I mean? It's hard to... It's hard to see another alternative, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not condoning violence, but maybe the guards can understand it. Listen, stick with us, Joe. 53104 for 20 cent to 6797 F104. And again, if you're living in the area, tell us how bad it actually is. And a couple of people on text kind of having a go and going, you know, why are we mentioning that this gang is of African origin? why not? Like, it is a fact. They are. Like, it's not, it's not like we're choosing to mention this or just drop it in. It is. I don't know the nationalities of these teenagers, whether we're born here, grown up here. I suspect they probably have been born here and grown up here. So for every person that's texting them, for instance, here's the text in front of me here, round them all up and send them back to their own country, someone says. Like I said, they might say, well, our own country is Ireland. 53104 for 20 cents. Carrie, how are things, Carrie?
Hiya.
How are things? You're live in F104. Carrie, what do you want to say? You heard Joe there, totally agrees with what the vigilantes are doing.
I agree with what they're doing, like, to a certain extent. Obviously, you'd have to draw a line somewhere, but where that line is going to be really vague. But what other choice have people got? Like, when you have people that have worked their whole lives to own their house and they can't go to the shop for milk because they're going to be bet.
Because these little shitheads are gone around the place, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I keep hearing people going, go to their parents, where are their parents? Like, I came from a house where there's 3 girls and you couldn't find 3 completely different individuals, and when you get to a certain age, there's only so much your parents can do, and especially nowadays, like, whatever hope there was when I was growing up, and that was only...
Okay, so you don't necessarily blame the parents for having lack of control over their teenagers?
Well, I'm one of those people that believe that you need to teach your kids from a very young age and keep teaching them until they reach... when they're 16, 17 years of age, you shouldn't have to run after them going, okay, now, don't be beating up John down the road for his lunch money. Yeah,
you would think they'd know not to beat up elderly people.
Yeah, you think they'd know not to beat anybody up. It's wrong no matter who it is.
Yeah.
But, you can't... there is, a stage where they can get in with the wrong crowd. They might have been the most perfect child ever, and they can get in with the wrong crowd and start running around. And, obviously, I'm not giving the parents excuses. I'm really not.
No, but you're saying there's only so much they can do.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Back a couple of years ago, you might have been able to chase them down the road with a stick. But if you were so much as to raise your fist, you can't. You can't do it. What are you going to do? Okay, if you go out there now and you beat that man up with a hammer again, I'm going to put you on the naughty step. You can't.
That's not going to work for a 16, 17-year-old. No, I mean, Joe, is Carrie right, though, that maybe parents' hands are tied in this generation now, that they can't say boo to the child without social services turning up?
Well, that's another thing as well. But I'm going... As I said, I know a lot of people are giving out about this foreign nationality thing when I mentioned it there earlier on. But I mean, have you ever seen the way the Africans carry on with their kids and the way? Well, okay. If you had the option that the vigilante group end up start bringing the trouble to their parents' doors, what way is that going to work out then? You know what I mean? It has to come to a stop at some stage before.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with the vigilantes to a point. What I actually really why I would definitely be for this particular group is because they're not a social media judge and jury. They're not out there recording, going up to them, going, look, we're going after these gangs. They've done it for the sake of the citizens.
So they're not similar to the paedophile hunting groups which we talked about in the show before, which, look, I'm not saying they do it for likes and shares. I think their intention's quite good, but a lot of people would say that they're doing it for attention.
If you don't, if you're going to do something, why do you need to put it on Facebook?
Exactly, I agree with her there. If you're going to do it to solve a problem in the area, don't be doing it for likes, which she is right there, and I totally agree with her.
And the vigilantes said the Hells Angels aren't doing that. It's not them that have gone, oh, look at us, we're so great. It's other people going, there's this group coming in to solve a problem.
But what would you say? It's I'm trying to think. Gardaí are professional. They're professional people. They're well trained, or at least they should be, and they have vast experience in investigating crimes. And they don't act without proof, or again, at least they shouldn't. I mean, what qualifications does a Hell's Angel vigilante have in picking the right person? Are they going on hearsay?
What qualifications do you need, right? If you know, because if you read any of the articles that have been wrote about. Because I don't know these people. I don't actually know. I'm just going on what I've read, right?
Yeah.
So if they're going after the top people in the gang, right? So they're not going, if it was something silly, like they were going for the little pusher or something that was way down low, or do you know, the little one that's gyring. They're not. They're going for the top man to show that, look, if we can bring down the top man,
well, that's
we
assuming,
can bring you down.
But that's assuming the information that they've gotten is correct. I mean, I assume they're only really working off hearsay. I mean, I would dread to think that all it takes to be beaten up now is if you just happen to be 15, 16 or 17 and black walking around Blanchardstown and you could get a beating. I mean, that's the stakes we're talking
But
here.
I don't, like, to be fair with you, can I just say something to answer that, right? I know a lot of bikers, right? I'm not saying I know anyone in that group. I'm not. But I am going to say, like, I've had an awful lot of conversations with an awful lot of people that own bikes, and they can look big and they can look fierce, and they are big and they are fierce. But
Kate,
like, if you're mouthing off at them, if someone came up to you and they're big and they're burly and they're like, don't be baiting down that 70-year-old man, like, if you're innocent, you're going to make out you're innocent, and they're not going to do anything. Like, if you're sitting there going, no, don't hit me, I'm innocent. Do you know?
But Keith, the problem is that the Garda only deal with the problem after somebody gets hurt.
Yeah,
and
true.
It could be a 60-year-old, 70-year-old man or woman that's after getting injured or getting hurt or something like that.
I know, but Gardaí, or at least should, work on solid proof. I don't know how much solid proof these Hells Angels have.
But why does it take somebody to get injured for the guards to sort the problem out? This is the other side of it. Like, I mean, these guys, the Hells Angels, as he says, they're trying to nip it in the butt now so nobody gets injured. But the guards can only deal with it after somebody gets hurt. Now, if somebody gets hurt, then you're really going to have a problem with it, because then, and I wouldn't mind, if it came down to the crunch that these Hells Angels, it was one of their parents that got injured or got hurt, and they really put somebody in the hospital, well, then I'd say tough shit. But of course, the guards will actually go after your man. But at the end of the day, it's his parent that's after getting injured. Now, I mean, okay, you have all these cutbacks and all that they're after doing it. They'd only done it for the Christmas when they got extra guards out and things like that to be out there and forced to be looking after the place, and it was all down to a money thing because it was coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
After Christmas, they're after cutting the resources, and I don't think it's fair on the guards. The guards are the ones that protect this country. The guards are the ones that are looking after the people, and it's all right for the government because they're in their fancy estates. They don't have to worry about it. Some of these people have guards sitting outside their houses watching these. Well, yeah, it's the people that's out there that's supporting them that they don't have the help.
Well, there has been a couple of notable TDs and councillors in the area speaking up about it and asking for more resources. But if that's going to fall, then it sounds to me like that might fall on deaf ears. How much that's going to be taken, I don't know. Listen, I want to take a quick break. Stick with us, Joe and Kerry. 53104 for 20 cents. A couple of people in the Blanch area saying things are quite bad. Maybe not as bad as it's been making out though. And one or two people saying that there is definitely a need for this vigilante group in that area. 6797 F104 is the number. Quick break. I want to come back and talk to Deco. Deco essentially says if they're not happy with the area, just move. I.e., if you are being terrorised by a teen gang in Blanchardstown, just move. How realistic that is, I don't know.
The best of the FM 104 phone show. Phone and text lines for this program are now closed. Any call or text you make will not count, but you may still be charged.
Emma says, I live in Ongar where these teens hang around. I can't even take my 1-year-old son out for a walk to the shops anymore because of these people. Last time I went for a walk, I got fireworks thrown at me and my son's buggy. The guards won't do shit, so I'm delighted someone is doing something. Another person, Paul, says they are only revenue enforcers for the Irish Free State. I assume he's talking about the Gardaí in that case. 6797 F104. If you're in the Blanch, Ongar, West Dublin area, let us know how bad things actually are, because apparently there is a teen gang of African origin basically running amok in the area. There doesn't seem to be a lot of things the guards can do about it, but it seems that Hells Angels, as they're calling themselves, are taking the law into their own hands. Deco, you're live in F104. Hiya, Deco.
What's happening?
What's up, man? You're basically saying that, look, if you're not happy in the area, as in Blanchardstown, just move.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. If you're not happy in the area, just move.
But how realistic is that? I mean, look, would you really move house? I mean, should they have to?
First of all, it's not right that outfits can go around hitting kids, yeah? First of all, that's not right at all.
Well, you're right. It's against the law, yeah.
Yeah, definitely against the law. But look, if you're growing up in a rough area, that's what's going to happen when you're a young fella. You know what I mean? You can't have outfits going out hitting kids. That's the Garda's job, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if Garda don't do it, then that's their problem. Fuck the Garda anyways, yeah?
So if you live in an area that's dominated by gangs, you've only yourself to blame, basically, because you chose to live there.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? You're in a rough area, do you know what I mean? You're living in a rough area. That's You know what I mean? You're
Deco,
the one going along.
So you think
gangs and doing all this? You know what I mean?
So if you turn around and you actually turn around and hit me, you don't deserve to get a box back. And you think
you should go complain to the guard all the time. You shouldn't be. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have.
But what gives you the right to go around and start? What gives you the right to go around and start bullying people?
Joe, rightly or wrongly, I mean, Deco is right. I mean, it is illegal to hit a child. If a child hits you, you don't have the legal power to go over and punch the head off them. You don't.
But what right does it have for Deco to actually start going around hitting other people and harassing people?
Did I say I was in this group at all, did I?
I didn't ask you that. I asked you a question.
Exactly, I didn't tell you.
I said, what gives you the right?
You should be hugging the police out to start something with it. You shouldn't be going around yourself, putting on a body or whatever and hitting young fellas.
But if the police aren't doing anything about it, so if the police aren't doing anything about it...
Keep hugging the police out of it, because you know what? The other thing that's going to happen, you outfits are going to just go around and getting arrested then, because you're not letting the police do their job.
I mean, like, listen, Deco, I don't agree with saying, look, if you don't like the area, just move. You got people who've lived there for years and they shouldn't have to move. But I do agree in some aspects that I wonder how good the information is that these Hells Angels have. I mean, are they just working off rumour that they might hear that some guy called Deco seems to be the ringleader here, and they approach him on the street and beat the crap out of him without much evidence, to be honest? I mean, that is the danger.
I think that fella on the other line, Joe, or whatever his name is, a bleeding mad thing he is.
Hang on for a minute. I used to be a teenager myself, but we'd never actually go around and start harassing and start hitting people or that like that.
Harassing people either, but what you should do is you should get the police involved. Keep hooking the police out of it, but you're not hooking the police out of it. You're ringing them once and hoping that they'll deal with the situation. But
Deco, the police are already saying that they don't have the resources for it, or if they do arrest one of these teenagers, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, but then again, all hell breaks loose, but you can't have the outfits going out hitting them, because if a little young fella gets hurt, what if he reports it, and then that outfit gets arrested then? And that's that outfit's problem for going out hitting kids.
So you think it's right for the teenagers to go down and start hitting?
I never said it was right, I never said, but if
so how do you stop it?
They're going up in a rough area, so what you want to do, like?
And these guys are trying to... Okay, so what did the guards do years ago when it came down to all the drug marches now?
I don't know. How am I supposed to bleed now?
How old are you, Deco?
How old am I?
Yeah.
22.
So, you're not looking to the point that...
Back in my day, yeah, I was a young fella myself. Back in my day, I used to do the exact same things they were doing.
In what way? Robbing cars, attacking people?
No, we never attacked people. Robbing cars and going out robbing, ducking horses and bleeding, driving cars into gas and all. I was doing all that shit when I was young fella myself.
And did the guards take much notice of this?
Yeah, they did, guard. I've been locked up for plenty of years, I have, yeah.
Mm. So you...
You know what I mean? But this show, you know what I mean? I don't think it's right for any sort of outfit to go around hitting kids at all. Whatsoever. I don't think it's right at all.
So you couldn't understand...
I do think these young people should be dealt with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think everyone's in agreement they should be dealt with. I suppose where the argument breaks down is everyone disagrees how that should happen or how it should actually be dealt with. Decker, are you saying that you couldn't understand if you robbed someone's car? Are you saying that you couldn't understand how that person who owns a car might come up to you and beat the hell out of you for doing so? You think you'd be wrong for doing that?
Well, you're going to have to contact the police, because I'm telling you, if the young fella just files a report, there you go, man. That's the fella that's getting arrested then. That your man's car that got robbed, he's going to get arrested for assaulting someone.
Okay, so Deco, if somebody was to hit your ma or arrest your ma and they came back to your house, what would you do about it?
I'd go on a mad one, I would.
There you go. So you're not taking the prime example, and you're 22.
I'd go on a mad one. I'd ring the police. Do you know what I mean? Ring the police.
Listen, I know from the sound of you that you're not one of these guys that would actually ring the police. You would take it into your own hands. You're telling me that if your mother got a bang of a brick or something like that from one of these teenagers, that you're going to sit there and go, all the gangs, you're going to actually get a gang yourself to go after them.
Look it, if you think of it, yeah, Blanchardstown, rough area, pals, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I can think of rougher, but yeah, I mean, it has, it is a working class area, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying.
But like, I mean, Deco,
in a rough area.
But if everyone,
then their parents not taking control of it, that's even bigger worse. You know what I mean?
But if everyone moved because there was antisocial behaviour in their area, people be moving all the time. Do you know what I mean? At some stage, I suppose, if you had a house in Blanchardstown for the past 30 years, are you saying that these people should just sell up? Assuming you could sell the house. I mean, who's going to want to buy the house that's in the middle of a gang war, apparently, if some of the reports to be believed? You wouldn't be able to move, really, Deco. I mean, is that realistic?
Yeah, but think of it, the guards don't give a rat's then if that's the case. What would I do? If I was living in that area, I'd keep hockeying the police out of it. Keep bringing them. Sort this out.
You do things by the
People are
book.
getting hurt.
Yeah. All right. Stick with us, Deco. 6797F104. Someone says youth nowadays have no respect. Look, it's a slight generalisation. Like, just because there's a gang of black teenagers gone around West Dublin causing havoc does not mean every teenager is. Does not even mean every black teenager is. I think it's a slight overreaction to that. Carl, you're live in F104. Hey, Carl.
How are you doing?
What do you want to say?
I've come in contact with this group, and they were running rampant for about a year.
Right. Is this recently, Carl?
Recently, and for they've been, it's all come to a head now where the areas they're in, they're gone out of.
I hear now they've moved kind of from Blanchardstown to Finglas now, apparently.
Yeah, their lives have been turned upside down. Like teenage gangs is a big problem in all over Dublin now at the moment, not just Blanchardstown, and it's not only African.
Yeah.
But these young guys, they're actually Angolans.
Right. Okay.
In my experience, African kids are normally, fairly well behaved, and especially, the mother and father will beat the shit out of them. And when they do wrong, and they're normally fairly behaved, very very respectful. But these are the most stupidest kids you'll ever meet in your life.
Right. And what age roughly would you say these are, Carl?
15, 16, but they're pretty well built, Okay. But the sort of crimes they would do, the Irish teenagers wouldn't do.
In what way?
Like somebody coming home from work, mid-age person, 40, 50.
Yeah.
Jump on top of him, stand on his head, take his mobile phone.
For no reason. Just because, for no reason.
Well, that's to get the phone,
Yeah.
Well, the mothers are out, single mothers out, breaking their balls, working as nurses all day long.
Why do you think, Carl, in your words, why do you think an Irish gang, for want of a better word, would not do some of the crimes that this gang are doing?
Well, these guys don't have any morals. Like these are the sort of guys who burgle their neighbours' houses. Like they'd have no problem burgling the neighbour's house if the mother or father went down the school run.
Yeah.
Like complete and utter. Like they have been bet and gotten to, and multiple times.
Yeah. And how many? Obviously, you don't know every single member, but how many people are we talking about? Would you say?
I suppose the core group was, 8 to 9 people, and they're in the courts at the moment, and they've been in the courts multiple times. They're at the end now.
Yeah.
The courts have completely let the guards down. The area, the constituency we're in, this is Leo Varadkar's area. Ongar is where a lot of the problems are now at the moment. That's his constituency. So the politicians have let us down. One of these kids are going to end up dead. They're running amok in Dublin 15. I don't think we're going to see it. I think it's dead now. I don't think they can. Unfortunately, I don't think you can even be, an African teen of the same age and walk through the place at the moment. The tension's got so high,
Yeah, well, I suppose that's the fear, isn't it? That okay, I think a lot of people would say that this vigilante group are well intentioned, but how good is their information?
These guys all dress the same in the black Adidas and all that. It took a long time to be able to identify them apart. And as soon as they were identified, they were extremely vulnerable because they were living right in the area.
Yeah. I would just worry that all it takes to be beaten up by one of these vigilantes is being black, 15, 16 years of age in Blanchardstown.
Well, if I had a 15, 16-year-old black kid, I wouldn't let him walk down at the moment. Yeah. Right. Before this, there was no problems at all. But at the moment, I would not let him walk down to Blanchardstown Shopping Centre in case he was mistaken for someone else.
Yeah, gotcha.
And that's the problem we face. Now, these kids, right, are directly related to the poor young boy who got murdered 3 years ago in Blanchardstown. He was a similar situation. So some other kind of gang member stole a mobile phone off an even bigger scumbag from Pearse Street. They came up, attacked the gang, and an innocent African kid got in the middle and got stabbed to death. These are the most stupidest little kids you'll ever meet. There's no hope for them.
And for everyone, Carl, maybe you can clear up as well, for everyone that's kind of saying deport them and send them back to their own country. In your experience,
Irish.
are these? Yeah, they're Irish.
They're Irish, and maybe it's because
born and bred.
Maybe it's their fault. Maybe it's society's fault. Maybe they're looking around, they're seeing all the other teenagers, and they're, in the gangs. Like on YouTube, there was, Irish teenagers there kicking the shit out of another in Blanchetown Centre.
Yeah.
A while ago. Maybe they're just trying to be better them, be one up on them.
And do you, Carl?
Poverty comes into it as well. There's not food in these kids' presses in their houses,
Yeah.
And the mother is out working all day, and maybe that's a problem as well. Maybe
But you would just wonder what the parents think of this. Like, I mean, they're not asking questions where the hell they're 15 and 16-year-olds.
They don't want to care. Like one of these little scumbags had, like, about 4 months ago, had his own mother pepper sprayed. His mother was sticking up from when he was being arrested, and the guards pepper sprayed his mother. Imagine having your mother pepper sprayed. That's how, like these guys are totally utter filth, And when they go inside, when they do get locked up, they'll be bleeding killed. And it's very surprising that they haven't caught a bullet off. They haven't, crossed the wrong person in Blanchetown and fucking got murdered again. And if that even happened, I don't think they'd learn from it, Would
it be fair to say, Carl, would it be fair to say that you don't view, even though you said they're about 15, 16, that you don't view these people as kids? You're saying they're quite well built, they're quite almost adults, basically.
They'd be a lot better built than, say, a 16-year-old Irish youngster.
And do you live in Blanchetown, Carl?
I live in Blanchetown, and I grew up, and I was a little bollocks when I was about their age. But we had morals,
Well, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, through the years,
we never burgle a house, or we never rob an adult or anything like that,
I know, but I'm just wondering, through the years, has there ever been any other gang problems in Blanchetown? And the reason why this is just getting so much, press is because it's, well, I suppose it's a sexy angle, isn't it, Carl? Kind of black teenagers kind of causing havoc. Or is this just a completely new thing?
The teens start standing out. No, of course, Blanchetown was like a decade ago, or about 15 years ago, was another fucking shithole, Somebody was, it was tough. There was tough gangs in the area. The place was overtaken with drugs. But
the Westies come to mind when you kind of say
like that. It's not like that now. And the problem is, you burgle, one of these kids burgled someone's house. You won't be very silly to go into an Irish person's house. Like, you'll get some mad old mother stick a knife in you or something like that. Yeah. It's risky business.
No, you're right. It's only a matter. It's only a matter of time before one of these teenagers, because even though they possibly don't look like it, they are still teenagers, gets fatally injured, or as I read out the text there from a mother of a 1-year-old in Ongar, had a firework thrown at her buggy. Like, I mean, that's just like, not that I expect scumbags to have morals, but I would have thought that they were above throwing fireworks at a child in a buggy, but obviously they're not.
Well, it was in the paper. A mother was walking with her 9-year-old, and one of them came up to rob the mother's phone, punched her in the face, and the 9-year-old was defending her mother because the same young fella got caught. Yeah, got caught by a group of the mother's friends, or maybe nothing to do with the mother. Tied up, got the shit bed out of him. Yeah, and sure, a couple of weeks later he was out robbing again. Like,
I want to go to Martin in a second. He has a bit of experience, unfortunately, being robbed by this particular gang. But Carlo, throw at you. Deco was on there a couple of minutes ago and was basically saying, look, if you live in the Blanchetown area and things are that bad, just move. Maybe you'd like to tell Deco how realistic that is. And like, I mean, I assume you wouldn't consider moving.
Yeah, look, Deco's 22. He's he's a different age to ourselves. He sees life in a different way. When Deco has kids, and he wants his kids to go out to school, and he wants them to be safe, and he wants his missus to be able to walk the kids with the buggy and be safe, and he will rely on the guards.
And I mean, what do you do as well? So say you move from Blanchetown and go to another area, and suddenly some problems pop up in that area. What do you move again? Like, you'd spend half your life just moving from area to area. At some stage, I suppose you just have to settle down and expect the guards to do it. I mean, are the guards present at all in Blanchetown? Because they're going on about the lack of resources.
They are now, absolutely, but they weren't ready for this kind of epidemic. But the thing about this government is and it's my experience in many different aspects, When shit hits the fan, they're normally not ready for it, but they do kind of get things on together pretty quick. And the guards are together now. They have their little gang task force, and they've no problem pepper spraying these.
Well, that's what I hear, that they have a specific kind of unit set up to tackle this gang. How many people are in that unit, I don't know. How effective it is, I don't know. But I agree with you, Carl. I suppose in the past, guards have kind of been accused of being reactionary, where, you know, like when the Kinahan Hutch thing, they said they didn't expect the whole backlash to that. Now, they finally got their act together, and it seems like they have a bit of a grip on it, but they didn't see that one coming either, Carl, it seems. So.
But they've now, one thing I can say about this government, that's the only good thing, is that when there's a crisis, there also the terrorism stuff as well, the whole Islamic terrorism stuff. They went prepared, but they got their shit together pretty quick.
Yeah.
So that's something for them. But this gang now, Dublin 15, I honestly think they're dead and buried. I don't think we're going to see much more from them.
Okay. Well, it seems they've done a fair bit of damage so far.
The fingers of Balbriggan, it's like, what do we need to do with them? What do we need to send them off to boot camp, or what do we need to do with them?
Well, if the reports are true, thank you for that, Carl. If the reports are true, this gang apparently has moved to Finglas, only a stone's throw away, I suppose, from Blanchardstown. Are they the same people? That I don't know, but maybe they recruit more members. I mean, again, it sounds like something from downtown LA, like gangs just running, like teenagers just running certain areas of Dublin. 53104 for 20 cents. Martin. Hiya, Martin. You're live in F104.
How's it going?
You were robbed by this gang.
Yeah, I work in Ongar in a restaurant, and I was robbed by 7 black people.
Right, what happened?
I just wanted to get on. I heard your man saying about the people that are going around, he's calling the bullies. Like, they're going around with knives, and they put a knife to my throat.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to sit there, and then they're talking about the police. Hound the police. I've been hounding the police. This happened to me 3 months ago, and I'm hounding the police. The last 3 months I'm hounding the police, and not a thing has come back to me.
So what happened, Martin? Tell us what happened.
I went to do a delivery. I stopped at the house to do a delivery.
Yeah.
Went in to do the delivery, came back out, I sat in my car, I was putting the money away in my pocket. Next of all, 3 black kids, 16, 17-year-old, walked up in my driver's side, and another 4 on my passenger side. The one that opened my door in my car put a knife to my throat, and then the others opened the passenger door, took the fuel, took my phone, got me out of the car, and took me money.
And what did they say to you, Martin? Was there much words even said?
There wasn't much wording at all. There wasn't much wording at all.
Yeah, but you knew it. Obviously,
they put a knife to me throat, and he says, "Right, give me your fucking money." And while your man was taking the money off me, you lot 4 were taking the food and my mobile phone.
Well, I suppose it doesn't need much words to be said. When a knife's put to your throat, you know what you want, I suppose. And you're saying these were all about 15, 16 years of age?
About 16, 17 years of age. Now, I've hounded the Garda. I've hounded the police. I've hounded them for the last 3 months.
And what are they saying? What are the guards saying to you?
Oh, we'll get the detective that's in charge of that to go back onto you. And nobody has got back onto me. No one at all. No one has came near. No guard has came near the shop. I gave them all my details, my address, my phone number, where I work, everything. None of them have come back to the shop. None of them have come near my house. None of them have even rang me the past 3 months. So if the Garda aren't going to do anything about it, who is? Because the government aren't.
Do you believe the Gardaí when they say either one of two things? They either don't have the resources to deal with it, or when they do deal with it, it actually makes the situation worse. Because going on what you're saying, it kind of sounds like the guards are not taking it seriously. I mean, if they didn't even get back to you.
They haven't. The past 3 months, this happened to me about 3 months ago. It happened to me 2 nights after Halloween. That's when it happened to me, and I have not heard a word back.
Yeah. That's not really good enough, is it? And what I mean by that is, it's not good enough, first of all, to not get back to someone when they've been the victim of a serious crime, which, Martin, you have, and you had a knife put to your throat. And I dread to think as well, if you had to refuse to give over what they were looking for, what would have happened to you. But then to come out and suggest to the public, Martin, to not take the law into their own hands, well, sure, as you put it, what other bloody option do you have left?
Exactly. What option do we have? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not racist. 100% I'm not racist. I have cousins that live in Wales that are a different colour to me. I am not racist, 100% not racist. But to be honest with you, I know one of the blokes, and I know that he's after getting locked up, and I know he's had to get locked up for robbing a granny in Lucan.
Right.
He robbed an 85-year-old woman in Lucan in her house.
Mm. And when you say he got locked up, I assume he got back out again.
He got back out.
Yeah.
He's on remand. He's on remand. He's out on his own bail at the moment.
A couple of people, I wouldn't say all, but a couple of people are sending us in text messages saying, "Oh, look, this is a racist topic. That it's kind of racially, antagonising the community." As you say, Martin, there's nothing racist about it. Nothing racist to point out the facts.
Can I just say on the radio, if it's a racist problem about with whites and blacks, what is it when the blacks come at us? What is it? What is it towards me? Like, I'm white, they're black. Like, what do we say now? What do we say then? You know what I mean? When they're attacking the whites. But when the whites attack the blacks, everyone's saying cop pulling the racist card. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I mean, like, I don't think we should have to toe some PC line here just to point out the facts that this is. I mean, look, Martin, I'll ask you: was there any white teenagers that robbed you? Like,
there wasn't one teenager.
I mean, that's not racist. That's just a fact.
When they got that money off me, a man dropped the knife beside me and he picked it back up and ran. I ran after them.
Yeah.
I ran after them.
You ran after them? Even though you had a knife put to your throat? You weren't... I mean, I would have been terrified.
I don't know what it was with the adrenaline. I don't know. I just ran after them. And I was 2 inches away from catching one of them, and I fell. If I had caught him, I probably would have been locked up now. I probably would have been the one that's locked up, and he probably would have got away with it. That's what killed me.
Has this put you off then? I mean, are you a Blanchardstown Onger local, Martin, or are we just happen to be working in the area?
No, I'm a local in Blanchardstown.
All right. And this hasn't put you off going out at night time? And actually, what time was this, Martin? During the day,
that happened at about 9:30 at night.
Oh, okay. And this hasn't put you off?
I'm now doing the same thing now, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, I mean, the message that I read out earlier on of a firework being thrown at a mother's buggy belonged to her 1-year-old child, she says she doesn't even go out anymore.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. And, like, the guards do nothing. They do nothing about it. Yeah. As I said, I'm waiting since 2 days before Halloween, or after Halloween, and that's when that happened to me. And I'm waiting since then to hear from one cop, one guard, and I haven't heard a word.
All right, will you stay with us for a second, Martin? 53104 for 20 cents. I assume Martin's not the only victim of this gang. If you have been a victim, you have been robbed, maybe by some of the same people as Martin, let us know. 6797 F104 is the number. But as I said, I can understand the frustration from the guard's point of view, but it's also a bit of a PR battle as well. Like, if the community of Blanchardstown believe that the guards aren't doing enough, well, they should be seen to be doing more. Like, even the simple fact, getting back to Martin, who had a knife put to his throat by 6 young lads, even get back to him, liaise with the guy. I mean, I don't think Martin's being unrealistic here. You expect all 6 of them to be locked up and doing 20 years, but to not even get back to the guy when you've been a victim of a serious crime isn't good enough. Like, whatever about lack of resources, surely you have enough resources to pick up a phone and tell Martin the latest on the case. Do you know what I mean? Or say you're at least going to do something about it. 53104 for 20 cents. I want to go to Achi. Achi, you're live in F104. Hey, Achi.
Hello, how are you?
Very
good.
How are you, my friend? Your son was accused of being part of this gang.
Yes, he was accused of being part of this gang. But
okay.
I would like to say that all black people are not like this, Like, you have guys like this taxi driver, but like they only want to talk about the black people, They are racist.
I don't know. I mean, actually, I don't know if they only want to talk about black people, but I mean, you shouldn't be labelled racist for pointing out the fact that they are black.
Sorry, I cannot hear you. The line just went back.
I'm just saying, actually, you shouldn't be labelled racist for just pointing out the actual fact that they are black. I mean, if they're black, they're black.
I understand, like, my race, my race, but what I'm trying to say is, like, our children is not getting the one recognition as the Irish, if you know what I mean. Like, they are always being picked on and bullied. Like,
right.
It is not fair, I believe. Like, we've always been called nigger and this thing and that thing, It is raising my child, like, with bad thoughts.
So, actually, let me ask you then, actually, do you think or do you believe that this particular gang are acting the way they are because...
getting accused because I believe it's because he is black and he's going around with a large gang.
Is that why you think your son was accused?
Can I ask that man a question?
Because he's going around with a large gang, automatically they accuse my son.
But why is he going around? Actually, why is your son and why are you allowing your son to go around with this gang, man?
But how you stop a kid like from going? You lock him in house. You know what I mean? He's going to go out. That's 10 years old.
Right, Martin, you want to ask Archie a question?
Yeah, actually, can I ask you a question? 6 black people attacked me, put a knife to my fucking throat. Put a knife to me throat. I'm not racist. By far, I'm not fucking racist. And I've never picked on a black person before in my life. Are you telling me that you don't understand why your kids, especially if he's in this gang, is getting bullied? You don't understand that. If he's walking around and he's putting knives to people's fucking throats, he deserves to get bullied. He deserves it.
But my kid is not. He's getting accused and all of this stuff. He's not involved. He's not
around with a gang. If he's walking around with a gang that are putting knives to people's throats, I know of another incident that happened to a fucking 6-year-old or a 10-year-old kid in school where 2 black people were waiting outside the school for him because their brother told them that he had an iPhone in school and you were waiting outside the school for that little child to walk out of that school, and they put a knife to his throat, a fucking 10-year-old's throat, and took his phone. And I wouldn't mind the little young fella was fucking autistic.
No, hold on a minute. It's always like, what about what Irish people do? You don't see us people getting on and saying what Irish people do. Irish people do 10 times worse. It is always about black people.
No, it's not always. Actually, it's not always about black people.
It is what always about the black people.
It's not. We've often covered particular areas of Dublin where there's car thefts, there's break-ins, there's everything else, and it is predominantly committed by white Irish teenagers. We've done it loads of times, actually, but again, you can't deny the facts. In this particular case, in Blanchardstown, the majority of gang-related crimes are caused by black people, actually. That is just fact. It's not racist, it's just fact, actually.
But I went out drinking 2 weeks ago, and I got beat up by Irish people, me and my wife, for no reason at all. No reason at all.
What? Let me ask you, actually. What? First of all, are you telling me that your son hangs around with this gang, but he's not part of it?
Yes,
what?
He tells his friends. He talks
okay.
to them.
So why would he hang around with a gang, but he's not part of it? I find that very hard to believe.
But he is not involved. He is not the criminal. His friends are, not him.
And you don't mind him hanging around with these people, actually?
No, they do a little bit of coaching up and stuff, but it's over in my country. It's not a bad, you know. Like
right.
Voodoo is what we believe in.
But okay, well you're not in that country now. You're in Ireland, and
I know I'm in Ireland. I know that.
We do have laws that need to be respected, and I would doubt as well that whatever particular country you're talking about would tolerate that sort of stuff as well. I mean, you know, you can't just let people run rampant. So, actually, you're not worried whatsoever that your son might end up being part of this gang?
Sorry?
You're not worried whatsoever that your son might end up a gang member? I mean, what age is he, actually?
No, my son is not going to become a gang rapist or something like this.
Right, so he's just gonna hang around with this gang, but not be part of the gang. That's some willpower, to be honest with you. Because to be honest, when I was 15, 16, I was very much, as any 15, 16 year old, was very much influenced by the people I hung around with. And if they did something, quite often I would. You're telling me that actually your son is good as gold, and even though he sees his mates who were involved in this gang beat up elderly people, rob people, threaten to stab them, you're telling me that your son would not partake in this?
These white people always do this too. Some of his gang is white as well.
I don't think anyone... I mean, Martin, no one is denying here that white people and white teenagers do not get involved in crime. We're talking about this particular issue, and it just happens to be black people. That's it. That's the only thing to it.
Yeah, come here. I know white people. I know white kids get into it. It's just as much trouble. But all I'm on this phone show to say is, when a white person hits a black person, he's racist. What happens when a black person hits a white person? Is that all right for him to go just because he was from a different country, because all this happened in his country? You're coming over to our country, you abide by our law.
We are not coming over by law. We come to be happy people. Like you say, you are not allowed to come to my country. Of course you're allowed to come to my country.
Buddy, will you just let me talk for a minute? You're coming into a country that has laws. If you want to come in and stay in our country, you go by your laws. And do you know what?
Can you let me talk, please?
No, I just want to finish what I have to say. I just have to finish what I say. I have to finish what I say. I just want to finish what I say. Do you know what? I went out on a little march with all the thing. And do you know what they were all saying? that they blame the fucking parents, and listening to you, knowing that your child is part of this fucking gang, and you won't do anything about it. If I found out my child was part of that gang, I'd ring the police for him. I'd ring the police for him, even if he didn't do anything, even if he was just a part of it. I'd ring the police for him.
But why you ring police?
Because he wouldn't tolerate his son being part of a gang, actually. Quite simple. I don't think any parent would want, I mean, well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think most parents, good parents, would allow their child to be part of a gang.
How do I stop him? And then his friend probably stop me.
Are you afraid of his friends, Sachi?
To be honest, yes, I am.
Is it true that some of these 15, 16-year-olds are built, they're built like adults? Like they're not...
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
We, us black people have natural build. We have athletic build. We are more athletic than Irish people, like some of us, you know?
Yeah, well, again, I would agree with you in most parts, and it shouldn't be racist to point that out either. Actually, stick with us. I want to bring Dave in. 6797 F104 is the number. Let me see. Dave, you want to have a word with Achi?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Go ahead.
He said he came over to this country to have a good time and to live happy. How can people in this country live happy if the likes of his son and other scumbags like them are going around doing this to people?
Hello, my son is not a scumbag.
He's a scumbag. Hang on here. If he's in that
you
gang,
bastard.
he's a scumbag.
Why do you call my son a scumbag?
If he's putting a knife to that other chap's neck, he's a scumbag. Now answer that one.
My son never put a knife to the person's neck.
But he's hanging around with people who do.
But what am I supposed to do?
I'm not saying lock him up, but I mean, have you even tried talking to him, actually, like most parents? Have you even tried saying, listen, son, this isn't a good thing to get involved in?
Obviously, I tried to talk, but his friends always come around to my house, you know. And I'm a quiet person. Me and my wife, we have 3 kids.
Yeah.
But my one kid, which is him, is with this big gang, and they always call. So I sort to talk to him, but he said, "Dad, no, you don't understand. They are my friends."
Actually, can you define it or nail it down? Why you think this particular gang, your son's friends, are acting the way they are? Is it because they feel bullied by Irish society, or they feel racially abused? Like, why are they doing what they're doing?
Because they have been guts. I believe they feel that they are being more bullied in schools and stuff like this. And
why are that? They're the bullies.
No, hold on. You constantly jump it. They believe they haven't got the credibility, like the way you see a white person go and do lawnmower and stuff like that. They believe that they knock on doors of people. They say, "Oh, go you nigger, you're not around there." You know, they haven't got.
So they feel like outsiders, that they don't feel accepted.
Exactly.
Right.
That is what I try to say.
So that gives them the right to shove a knife to someone's neck, does it?
No, I'm not there. This give him a right to shove knife at
I'll ask you one question. If someone shoved a knife to your wife's neck, how would you feel?
What? I would not be happy. My wife beat up 2 weeks ago with me, with Irish people. We are not happy, but what can we do in his life?
Well, I tell you what you can do. You can keep your son in. That's what you can do, and don't let him hang around with the gang.
But how can you keep a 15-year-old child?
Well, I have a 17-year-old son in there now, and I wouldn't let him out at this hour at night.
But he climbs your window. He don't care about that.
Actually, where's your son? Actually, where's your son right now? At 20 to 11 on a Monday night. Where is your son now? Do you know where your son is?
No, to be honest, I don't know.
You don't know where he is. At 15 years of age, you don't know where your son is.
No, go back.
Do you take any, honestly, actually, do you take any responsibility as a parent? Take any responsibility for what your son's up to?
It is not my fault. What am I supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do? Well, what's he supposed to do, Dave?
I'll tell you what you should do. We should nail the windows down if he's getting out the window. It's like they come over to this country and they just rape the country. That's what it's like. You look at that poor chap that got the knife put to his neck, out trying to do a bit of work, and you've got a gang of them coming up bleeding, robbing him.
I never raped country. I am a good Irish.
And all they do was try the racist card. Like, I know loads of coloured lads, and look, I've no time for any of that gang. Every one of them are scumbags, but I'm not a racist.
No, listen again, Dave, I must stress, like this, you know what I mean? It's not I totally accept it. It's not the only gang in Dublin. And, you know, plenty of times we've covered on the phone show of, well, we wouldn't call them white gangs, they're just gangs, but white gang, Irish lads running amok on areas. It shouldn't be racist just to point that out, Dave. It shouldn't, you know what I mean?
No, definitely not. Definitely.
Just facts.
There was a gang of black lads hitting a white lad, and I'm sure there's gangs of white lads that hit black lads.
Yeah.
So, like, but I think it's down to him. He should have the young lad locked up in the house. If he's to lock him up in bleeding handcuffs and not let him out, that's up to him.
Hello. What about the white people that shoot all the time? They shoot. They no pull. Kids okay, they pull knives, but the white people shoot.
What white people are shooting? What are you talking about?
Have a look at all the people that are getting killed.
Yeah, I know, but I know, and I'm not excusing their behaviour, but that is gang related. It's drug related. They're not going. I gotta watch my words here, but they're not going around shooting quote unquote innocent people. They're not going around robbing elderly people. I'm not saying by no stretch of imagination I'm saying they're fine, they're angels. They're not, but it is very much to do with drugs and gang related stuff. Actually, your son and his friends are involved on attacking poor innocent people.
They are getting bullied by white people.
They're getting bullied by white people. So their reaction to that then is to attack white people. I mean, are they getting bullied by an old lady on the way to the shops? Are they getting bullied by a 1-year-old child in a buggy? They're not. So why are they choosing to take out their anger on them?
Maybe they have no money and they want money. I give my money. If I got robbed twice before in Ireland, and the guy put it next to me, he didn't put it to my neck, but he showed me nice and said, "Give me your money, motherfucker." Like, here is money.
Right, your line's a bit dodgy. I'm going to have to cut it short. Actually, I'll ask you one final question. Just because we're talking about guards here and whether the guards are doing enough. Has the guards ever been at your door, actually, over your son?
Yes, numerous times.
Numerous times. And have they ever arrested your son? Have they ever taken your son away?
Yes, they have arrested him for questioning.
And you've no problem with that? You've no problem with your son being arrested?
I do have a problem with it, but what can I do?
I mean, like, your son is 15. Like, what is that? What is your son going to be like in 5 years' time, actually, at 20 years of age? He's going to be a maniac.
My son is not the maniac. It is these white people that are going around with you is telling them what to do. You know, some of the kids are crazy, just like white people.
Honestly, actually, it sounds to me like the only racist on this show is you. That's what it sounds like. You're excusing the behaviour of, let's say, your son's friends then. You're excusing the behaviour of your son's friends because there are some white people out there racially abusing them. That sounds like racist to me. It's almost like you're saying that us white people deserve it. That's racist.
You must be racist for black people, to be honest. I think you are racist.
I'm racist.
The way you talk is all about racism. You know, like, why? Why you like this?
Because I don't deny the facts, actually. I don't deny the facts. As I said, we've covered numerous of times in the show of other gangs who aren't black running amok in certain areas. But on this particular circumstance, they are black. That is just the facts. I don't ignore it. I go by the facts, and they are the facts. I'm not racist. I'm not making it up. They are black. That is just simply it. But you think I'm racist, actually?
To be honest, I think you are on my walla.
Right. Well, I tell you, I don't have kids, but when I do, I will do my best to make sure that they're not involved in a gang, and I won't be passing the buck. Because, I mean, to be honest, actually, you sound like a useless parent. Do you know that? You sound like an absolutely useless parent.
I think you are on my walla, to be honest.
I'm a
You're
what?
a white person. You are on my walla.
Right, we'll get some translation on that. Right, thank you for that, Archie. Again, just my opinion, but I think if you allow your 15-year-old to be, friends with a gang, not involved with the gang, he must be the only guy who's not involved with the gang, I think you're a useless parent. I totally accept you can't lock your 15-year-old up, but he's not doing enough. He's not. Absolutely not. And to turn it on then, white people, almost like they deserve it for racially abusing his son. As I said, are you telling me that a 1-year-old child in a buggy who has a firework thrown at them by this black gang are racially abusing them? They're not. They're scumbags. That's what they are. And that guy that you just heard there is a useless parent. Couldn't we... Oh, lads. Paul, you're live in F104. Save me here, Paul.
How are you doing? I'll say one thing now before I start. Okay.
Go ahead.
There's 4 or 5 people on the radio here, and there was only one person mentioned the N-word. Only one person.
That's true, and that was Archie.
You know what I mean? So who's the racist here? You know what I mean?
Again, listen, I know tensions can be high, and especially when you do these types of topics, when you bring up the word a black gang, but all it is just reporting the facts, Paul. They are black. We're not saying every single black person in Dublin's doing it. Of course they're not.
I'm going to be honest. I grew up in Kilbarrack, Donaghmede. Jesus, I'm 49 now. So I'm talking, I was a kid there 35 years ago. The lads were robbing cars. There was all sorts of mayhem going on then. You know what I mean? But as soon as the IRA used to come in there and just take 1 or 2 of the lads away, they got a little hiding and it all stopped. If you do that now with a black kid, It's racism. I don't care how bad kids are. If they get a little slap, that's it. They'll be sorted out. If they're let run free, they'll wreck the place.
But you and I know,
You know what I mean?
I know, but Paul, you and I know that's not going to be tolerated by the law. Like, the guards aren't going to go ahead, do what you want to them.
The guards aren't doing nothing enough about it. They probably are doing something. That young fella hasn't been questioned 5 or 6 times for nothing. He's probably the fucking ringleader. And he's that cute at 15 that he knows he can't be prosecuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all dead white. They know the system. They know how to milk the system. I saw 2 of them robbing a bike on a kid here at the gate here a couple of weeks ago at knife point. The poor kid nearly shit himself. He's only about 14. You know what I mean? Off he went on the bike, and the little kid ran after them.
Yeah.
Again, probably adrenaline. The uncle just wanted his bike back. You know what I mean?
So you got a 14-year-old kid with a knife to his throat. Like, whatever about Martin, who I feel sorry for Martin, but he is an adult. You got a 14-year-old with a knife to his throat. That's not
exactly. But he
ridiculous.
bashed the driver here, one of the curry drivers here a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was Martin or not. I'm not sure, but somebody got bashed here a while ago, and it seems all the drivers got together and they're not tolerating it, and that's it. You know what I mean? But I was here a couple of years ago. I'd say about 3 years ago. There's a pub there, Cullen's in Ongar Square, and there was about 30 of the black kids there. And the police came in to move them, and they turned on the police. The police had to get in their cars and fuck off. That's how bad it got. I'm not messing. Yeah, ridiculous.
So these people, these individuals, by the sounds of them, Paul, don't fear the Gardaí. Don't.
No, what
have any
happens is
respect.
there's about 6 or 8 of them from Ongar or from Tyrrellstown come down here, and they meet up with Polish youngsters and Spanish youngsters. Like, they're not all blacks that they'll be down here now, acting the maggot, like, you know what I mean, or robbing.
Yeah.
But like, there is about 8 of them come down from up there in Tyrrellstown. And they meet all of this. They were in a house down here smoking and doing whatever they were doing, a vacant house.
Yeah.
We had to we didn't have to get them out. We got the house boarded up, you know what I mean? They went out, we seen them leaving, about 8 of them. And not a bother, just look over the shoulder, tell you to fuck off and mind your own business. 15 and 16 years of age. Like, if I said that to an adult in my estate when I was 15 or 16, my fucking dad kill me.
That's what
it's down to the parents.
Yeah, I just don't think it's good enough for Machi. I understand you can't completely control everything a teenager does. They'll find ways around it. But when they're only 15, like Achi's talking about his 15-year-old. It's not a 17 or 18-year-old. It's 15-year-old. And he seems to be...
doesn't give... Listen to the man. He doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't.
I'd say Achi's probably a taxi driver or something, and he's never in the bleeding house. So how are you supposed to look after a child if you're never in the house?
I also, look, you know, this is why I asked him the questions. I didn't want to get in a back and forth with Archie. I wanted to ask, actually, you know, get to the nub of it. That's why I asked him, but why do you think they're doing it? Archie seems to think that the reason why is because they feel like outcast in Irish society because of racism. But like, and listen, I'm obviously not black and I don't live in the Blanche area. But, I mean, there's black people in my area, for example, and I don't see that much racism. I'm not saying that they don't get racially abused from time to time, which obviously is not acceptable. But I don't see enough of it, Paul, that would turn a whole generation of black lads in Dublin against the rest of Irish society. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Like, you know, of course, I'm sure in school there's comments made, this and that, but it's, you know, the way Archie was making out, like it's the deep south in you know, Louisiana in the 1950s.
Listen, kids are kids. If there's a fat kid in the school, they call him a little fat fuck. If there's a skinny kid, they call him a skinny fucker. If the black kid, they call him a black fucker. That's the way kids are. You know what I mean? The specky kid, you know, that's the way kids, that's part of growing up. But now because it's all flaring up now, it's racist. It's bullshit. They use this card all the time for fucking everything.
Yeah. No,
everything.
I agree with you. I think it is bullshit. I don't think it's not racist whatsoever, just to point out the facts. In this particular case, again, do you know what? Depending on the night, in 2-3 nights' time, there could be something else in the news of another area in Dublin that doesn't involve black teenagers, and I guarantee we will do it the same as we've always done it. You know, just in this particular case, I mean, how much actually listens to the actual show, I don't know. But in this particular case, they are black, and in this particular case, it is his son and his friends who are involved. And you know, to call me racist and to kind of make out that I'm some sort of part of the problem. This is coming from Machi, who doesn't seem to really care that his son is part of the gang, or as he puts it, friends with a gang. Have you ever heard such nonsense in your life? Have you, like, I mean, look, all of us listen here, if you're over the age of 15 and you've been 15 at some stage, are you telling me that any 15-year-old is just friends with people part of a particular group and doesn't get involved? That's bullshit. When I was 15 and my mates around me were up to something, whether it be something innocent, I suppose, in some ways, maybe underage drinking or whatever, of course I was part of it. Are you telling me that I just stood on the sidelines and said, best of luck, lads, I'm going to go home to bed early and read a book? It doesn't happen. Of course he's involved. Of course he is. Why the guards called to his door for bloody 6 times? And he doesn't care. And what's more is, he's putting the blame on other people for it. Boils my blood, but there you go. Maybe that's the... You know, we asked at the start of the show, where are the parents and all this? Well, we got one. And it doesn't seem to give a crap too much. Let me see. They're not bullying people, they are robbing them. Big difference, says Dave on 52104. Hi Keith, he has no control over his son. He defends him. He blames everyone else. What a sad parent, says Nick. Boys that age are little bastards. You can't stop them going out. I had one myself. But he didn't attack people, thank goodness. He just went drinking. So someone on 5204. Again, I accept that you can't completely lock up a 15-year-old. You know, they will get up to things behind your back. They'll find ways and means around it. But if your son's involved in a gang, it's just not good enough to say, I don't know what else to do. Well, in that case, then why is there more 15-year-olds in gangs? If every parent just was completely useless in it, you know, then the Dublin would be a lot worse than it is. Let me see, that person is a bad father, someone else says on 5204. White vigilante gangs are needed to solve the problem of these immigrants, should be thrown out as they are parasites and add nothing to society, says Jane. Thank you, Jane. Quite a racist text from yourself as well. Again, no matter how much I try to direct it away from being racist, because it isn't racist to point out this is a black gang, it's called fact, then you do have then idiots who text in that and make it racist. Kind of lets the side down or the argument down. If your kid did anything to my family, I would put him where the sun doesn't shine, another person says. Let me see. Black crime gangs, white crime gangs, what's the difference? They're both scum. Our failed court system and liberal PC arseholes within this country today are the real problem, and the blame today, not the police. The police are fighting two fronts. These council estates thugs and the liberal do-gooders within our society today. Need I say any more, guys? Need I say any more? This is John on 5204. Good point. And maybe the guards shouldn't be blamed. Maybe we take them at face value and say they don't have the resources. But you would have heard from Martin earlier on, who was a victim of a very serious crime, and the guards didn't get back to him, despite calling them 3-4 times. That is not good enough. You don't need massive resources to pick up a phone and basically tell Martin, you know, if his case is being handled or not. That's just public relations, isn't it?